Death metal compilations that were really important in the early scene are Death's Door compilations right here. So at Death's Door had like Deicide and Sepultura and Obituary. I got those in later years, but I remember having Death's Door Part 2 when that came out, and that was really important for me because it led me to Disincarnate and Cynic and Gore Guts. And the reason why you want to probably buy this compilation and have it anyway is because of the only version of Padre Nuestro from Brujeria, which is found on this compilation. Unspoken Names from Atrocity is an awesome song anyway. The Slayer cover Piece by Piece from Malevolent Creation is killer on here. And also the Death cover God of Thunder. This is kind of an exclusive way to get a bunch of those cover songs, and it's an excellent compilation on Roadrunner. This I got back in the early 90s, and it proved to be really important for me and my love of death metal. Just as important is the Death is Just the Beginning series. This first one was elusive to me, but when this Death is Just the Beginning Part 2 came out, this was one of the most important compilations in death metal history. Absolutely. I think a lot of people were influenced by Death is Just the Beginning Part 2. After getting this CD, I went out and bought Gorefest. I went out and bought Sinister and Hypocrisy, Amorphous, Winter. Basically, I kind of went through and bought almost every CD from all of these bands. Pungent, Stench, Master, Benediction, Brutality, even Afflicted. These are classic bands, classic albums, and it was such a great compilation. So, extremely important, Part 2. The Part 3 looks like this. I love Death is Speaking Part 4. I think it's an excellent copy. Besides Part 2, and my other favorite is Part 4. So Against Windows by Amorphous, Episode 66 by In Flames, Self-Pity Sick from Darkseed, Autumn Leaves from Ever Eve. I went out and bought Ever Eve and Dreadful Shadows, Left Hand Solution, Withered Beauty after hearing this comp. Probably Cataclysm was the first time I heard Cataclysm. So Death is Just Beginning Part 4, awesome comp. Part 5 looks like this. And even Part 5 gave me some suggestions for music. Covenant, when Nexus Polaris came out, I heard it on this compilation first and then went out and bought the album. God Gory is such an underrated band. Dimmu Borgir is on here, Benediction, Dismember. So definitely you want to pick up those Death is Just the Beginning. They were so awesome. In the Eyes of Death compilation, this was on Century Media, and this was important too because it's got 6 of the most brutal versions of Unleashed, Asphyx, Tiamat, Morgoth, Grave, and Loud Blast. So Century Media, for a while there, they were doing it really right when they put out this brutal comp. In the Eyes of Death. Excellent compilation. Traces of Death. I've got 2 different versions of Traces of Death, and this was accompanying the video Traces of Death. And this has got some sick, brutal stuff. I mean, you think of Sinister, Monstrosities on here, Hypocrisy, Gorefest. Awesome comp. Another one that was influential for me is 5 Years of Nuclear Blast. Basically, Nuclear Blast, Century Media, and Roadrunner. Those were the 3 top that had awesome comps and were putting out great stuff. I'd recommend 5 Years Nuclear Blast. That's more of the same type of bands, but it's another nice listen for the evening. Finally, Milwaukee Metal Fest. Milwaukee Metal Fest was the biggest fest in the United States that happened in the 90s. I went to the Milwaukee Metal Fest 10 years in a row and saw, with every year, it was like usually a 2-day fest, and I would watch like 50 to 100 bands, and some amazing notable bands I've seen. I'm not gonna list them all, but there was a couple Milwaukee Metal Fest compilations. I've got the Milwaukee Metal Fest 12 promo CD, and the one that I really recommend is Part 11, Milwaukee Metal Fest 11 compilation. This has got a great song from Creator called Leave This World Behind. It's got Carnal Voyage from Oppressor, Killing Machines from Mortis Skuld, which is one of the best death metal songs of all time, and Misled, Avernus, Thousand Spirits from Avernus. That's a cool song. And probably the best reason to get this Milwaukee Metal Fest Part 11 is track 8 from Epoch of Unlight. It's the only place that you can find this song in its entirety. It's an exclusive track to this compilation. It's one of the best fucking black metal songs of all time, called From Northern Aries to the Infinite Cycle of the Unborn Lord by Epoch of Unlight. You can't find it on even YouTube right now. It's not on one of their albums, not this version. This version kills. Milwaukee Metal Fest promo part 11, promo CD. So there you have it. Some of the most important comps that were influential to me, as well as a lot of other people. Compilations are awesome. They're worth investing in, and you should definitely check them out. Have a great day.